Okay, trying out the Halloween version of Mad Games here. First game, here we go. Let's give it a try. See what the what the what the
Wiggle, wiggle.
Like.
All right, guys. Halloween is almost upon us, and the Halloween event has now hit World of Tanks Blitz. Check out this beautiful garage. That's what I'm talking about. This is pretty sick looking. I think they did a great job here. They have two new tanks, the Lycan and Nightmare. Nightmare is a variation of the Stug, very similar, both tier 5. Have the same armor specs slightly. The Nightmare has the side armor with the more derpy cannon. I believe this derpy cannon was in the game before 5.5 for the Stug, but now is only available on the Nightmare. So sick. And looking at it, looks like it's got some very similar attributes to it. The DPM is lower, the accuracy is lower, the shell velocity is lower, meaning your shell's going to travel a little bit slower. But other than that, I mean, it doesn't look like a bad tank. Everything else is pretty similar. But I mean, that's the Nightmare for you. You can get it if you just purchase the one-time package at $10. With the option right there above, the entire levels you see at the bottom. If you just purchase that, you can get straight to and just get the Nightmare. You need to purchase this twice if you want to get the Lycan and also the camo. So everything in completing all 60 stages is about $20. And there's also a really sick variation of Mad Games also available right now. Things get wild. That's all I gotta say. Some pretty sick options here. Absorbing health, crazy splash damage, keeping your sights on enemies and draining their lives, lightning bolts. I mean, you name it. There's some crazy stuff in here. Also, you go. There's some options to go crazy fast. So if you guys were around during the Mad Games, this is a fun event. This is where things get wonky. Now, how to get to the event? At the very top, next to your orange battle button, there's an icon. You click on that, and you'll see the one, not the normal battle or the supremacy. It's the one on the very far right. Click that one. And then when you hit battle, you'll be able to go. And now it's only for certain tiers. I think it's 5 through 10. 5 just compensating for the Nightmare. But you also have these really sick attachments for the Helsing and some special tanks, some bats flying above and not just something stagnant on top, which honestly I think looks kind of sick. The Lycan, you can get it without having to do all the stages. The stages will get you the camo for it, or you can just get the Lycan without the camo, and it looks black and somewhat... I don't know how I feel about the night camo. It's actually funny. I think it looks cooler without it. Just my opinion, just shooting that out there. And really going in... I mean, the work involved with some of this, it's going to be interesting because you'll have to complete missions. If you don't want to pay the money, just the $10 or so, or 20 just to get everything, or just the Nightmare and just half of it, you do have to go through a series of completing missions. Now, you have to get 1,000 of these little tank icons total, and by completing missions and your games, you're only going to get about 60. And if it's a really difficult one to complete, you get 100, but you're maybe looking on average about 60. Now, you do get boosters. There are these little boosters throughout the game, and they're only at certain levels, so you don't have a ton of them. They only give you like a few of these things, so you can utilize these things to help you progress a little bit faster. So just some highlights there. But here it is. Honestly, I'm actually looking forward to this. We can jump into some gameplay here. But I'm going to also, before I do that, touch on the Lycan. So This tank, it's funny because the mobility and everything I saw from the commercial looked like a medium tank. This thing was flying, landing on tanks. I mean, it looked like it had way more speed, and it honestly, it does have good speed, but I don't think as good as the one in the trailer that Wargaming advertised with this thing. There are some very wonky and weird things going on with the armor inspector. I took a look at this, and if you move the armor around, you can see it highlights in red and then it disappears and goes green. So maybe keep this tank moving, or you're stronger when moving and maybe vulnerable when staying still too long, because you see it just changes. It goes from like red and then all of a sudden green. So I don't know if it's a glitch. Maybe they'll fix it, but for the time being, just keep that thumb moving around on that screen. And then when comparing, really looking at the tank, it does have, there's some impressive things about it. It has good turret armor. That's the one thing that is really cool about this. Plus, it has negative 10 degrees of gun depression. This thing does look better than I was originally thinking it may. It has that pike nose, so when you're angled, you'll have one that's hyper slanted, which is great, but that other one will be a little flatter. It's not a tank you want to rely on your whole armor a lot. You do have better turret armor from the front. Your mobility's okay. Honestly, looking at the stats, it is very, very similar. Its cannon is going to function and be very similar to the IS. It's very similar to that one. And as for like DPM damage, the 400 average damage is pretty cool. And you have the 10 degrees of gun depression as mentioned. Your mobility is a little slower than the IS, but it is faster than some of these other tier 7 heavies, which is pretty cool. So you can really use this thing to your advantage. There's some cool things. This thing does have a better turret than the IS tanks. Plus it has better gun depression. So you can really put yourself into some good positions to just kick A. So that should be pretty cool. I'm actually pretty optimistic about this. And along with the event, you now have the chance to get the Helsing tank or the Dracula tank. However, it's in crates. That blows. So good luck with that. There's a 3% drop rate with the Helsing and the Dracula. Not a lot of fun there. So anyway, we'll go into some gameplay. Hope this helped and hope you guys have a good Halloween. I'm going to be coming out with more videos. Once again, the movie is taking a lot of my time and I'm not able to get as many videos out to you guys as I wanted, but wanted to get this out to you. This is Stud Muffin 1986. You guys stay cool, keep tanking, and enjoy the replays. Take care.